Alright, what's up everybody? How are you doing? This video is a little more, I guess, complex than my last videos, even though I know I'm a super technical type of person. But we're calling this Anti-Reflect 101. I'm going to teach you about anti-reflect strings, what they do, why you should use them, are they strong, are they weak, just the general ins and out. So I'm going to give you a couple recordings. On slot 1, we're going to do a frame perfect reflect. To do that, you hold S so that it's already holding, then you press back, and then you can just do what you need to do. So again, hold S, start recording, press back, cancel recording. And now out of block, he will do frame perfect reflect. Yeah, wrong recording, oops. Probably should make it do the normal recording. There. He's doing a frame perfect reflect. Why do you need anti-reflect strings? It's in a situation like this, some characters can't make it all the way back because they're usually about this far. And if you do something like this, you know, normal strings, you're going to be out of range for anti-reflect. The way to solve that, because you know the basic route, it's LL, 2M, 5M, 5H, 2H, right? If I pick a character like Krillin and I try to do that after my anti-reflect string, I'm out of range. You know, I whiffed there, but let's say he reflects into frame perfect match, which is just mashing, so of course it's gonna be, you know, I get bopped. And that's the general thing. You have to stop that from happening. I can't, Krillin, his issue is he struggles to do that. Even though his 5M has a lot of range, he can't get back in easily. So how do we solve this? You can pick a character like Goku Black, whose auto combo is an anti-reflect string, so you have to reflect it twice. Which, the force double reflect is really good. Some characters can force triple. Goku Black forces double. He can't force triple with like LLS, but you have to know you're gonna reflect it. So it's not like, yeah, like that. That's how he forces multiple reflects. Bardock, even with Bardock, you know, if I do that, I get bopped. So here's the universal anti-reflect string. Almost every character can use it. Of course, there's some outliers. 5S. Anything is a 5S. Key blasts are usually -4, so they're good stagger tools. And some characters can do that, so they can, you know, confirm off of it. It's pretty good. The issue here is if they do reflect super dash, you'll have to 2H it. If they do like, if it's a Janemba player and they do reflect into counter, you might get smoked. What else? You can't pressure much afterwards. Like, even though I said key blast is only -4, it's still a rock paper scissors. It's the same as any other stagger, but right here I'm at the end of my Gatling string. So at the start, you know, people fall for this pressure because I can do that. I talked about this in my Janemba video. Any stagger that you can true string into a low at any point, I talked about in the Super Saiyan Goku video too. That's threat. That's how you threaten somebody. That's what makes staggers good, the fact that you can true string into a low. Once you go to 5S, most characters don't have a low special afterwards, so there's no reason to respect them. So you can reflect, you know, even though it's a key blast, you can reflect because 5H. So options, a bunch of options come up. The issue here is that if I get reflected and I do 5S, 5H, staggering from here, there's very little reason why they have to respect me. Key blast is what, +0? So it's a, you know, Yomi situation. I have to either predict that they're gonna jump, so I do JM. I have to predict that they're gonna move forward, so I, you know, micro dash 5L or something like that, which will clash with them, but you know, we're the same character, so duh. But what if they press something faster, you know? I have to call out what happens next. This situation is not a winning situation for me. It just means I didn't get reflected. What it does solve, if they're on reflect into mash, which is here, if they do reflect into mash, right, I do get the ability to keep my turn, which is what matters most. You just come back in. Some characters, you know, you hit confirm it real quick. With Bardock, I usually lariat so I can make sure they ground tech so they don't get the forward tech and I get my turn. Like that. But in general, you don't get as much. So let's go on some character specific anti-reflect strings. Let's talk about the ideals behind what makes one. Bardock, he has a bunch. 5M is his easiest anti-reflect string. Anything into 5M, 5M's only -4 on block. So I think it's -3 actually. It's pretty safe on block. Yeah, it's -4. So that's the same frame advantage as 2L. Bardock has really good anti-reflection. And then you just confirm it, right? Into something. What else? He has anything into 5H. So 5H works even without the micro dash. Most cases you want a micro dash after your anti-reflect string, because if they just do reflect into block, if I can cut my brain on. Yeah, if they just do reflect into block, you're out of range because that didn't connect. So you do a little micro dash, give yourself dash momentum so you can stay in range. The theory behind it, right? 2L has, okay, let's talk about frame data again, right? Every character, 2L has faster recovery than 5L, but it has more startup. So the cancel point is earlier. So if I do this, the gap between that is, you know, even though this won't true string, yeah, the gap between that is smaller than the gap between this. The only reason it does a true string because Bardock's 5L has medium block stun, but the cancel point is still different. So for anti-reflect strings, you usually want a 2L 5H. See, that's how you stay in range. Bardock, he can 2L 5M most of the cases like that. And if they single reflect, sometimes you get good setups like this. Bardock's only -1 here. That's his turn. -1 versus a 7 frame character, that means he gets the 5L and then he wins the Clash War. Yada yada yada. You get it. I can show it real quick. I think if I set Bardock to 1 frame delay on his okay, we're gonna do this the hard way. Into 5L 1 frame delay. Yeah. So yeah, Bardock has pretty much one of the best anti-reflect strings because he gets his turn back. Another anti-reflect string some characters can use, but not all, is 5LL. Goku Black has it. Pretty much this is the easiest anti-reflect string in the game. Everybody knows about this one. Just, yeah. It's not very effective. There's some issues on it. It is good to use here and there. Goku Black's 5LL is only -5, and most anti-reflect strings hit meaty, so it hits a little bit later because, you know, pushback, movement, yada yada. The issue here is, okay, look, right? You're always gonna do that string. You get used to it, but it's pretty good because you're early in your buttons here. You're still off your lights, but you have to go into mediums. Most anti-reflect 5LLs or 5LL, the second hit isn't really a good stagger button. Like this is -4, that's cool, but Goku Black is spaced in such a way he can't do much. His 5L whiffs, his 2L does hit, but that's a frame 8 2L, and you're -4, so that hit on frame 12, they can 2M you, right? His 2M's frame 11, but that's even slower. 5L, yeah, his anti-reflect strings off of 5LL usually isn't spaced good, and that's just character stuff. Goku Black does have access to the simple, you know, 5H staggers, and his is better than everybody else's because he can do stuff like this, or well, he can do stuff like anti-reflect 5L 5H into that, and that's plus frames. If you ever fought Axe Ice, that's all he does. That's just free plus frames. You're +20, free plus frames. Smoke them, right? If they mash, so we're gonna put them on recording 2, which was anti-reflect into mash. They get hit by that, and you know the new buff he got, he can do like this. That's the even better anti-reflect string now. So yeah, that's pretty much the new stuff for Goku Black. I'm not a Goku Black player, so I'm trying to remember what the confirm would be. There it is. Or until, you know, something probably cuter. Yeah, something cuter. But you get the point. So now we're gonna talk about Krillin. He does not have good anti-reflect strings, and this was season 2. It was like controversy because I said Krillin's still bad. You know, he got buffs to most people. He got some buffs. I said he's pretty trash, and it's because they took away his anti-reflect strings. So why am I saying that? So let's put him on just like we did before. Reflect into just block. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. That doesn't reach. That does, but Krillin's like -10 still. Like Krillin doesn't get frame advantage from mini 5S if I recall. He's +0. This range, Krillin +0, all he can do is 5H. He can't 5S. What else? He can do this, and that's only -8, I think. It's not that minus. Yeah, it's -9, which is pretty good. But again, his only anti-reflect button is 5H. The issue, Krillin has to micro dash for any of that to work. So 5H does work, but then if you take a mid screen, I'm pretty sure 5H doesn't work anymore. Yeah, post vanish 5H doesn't work. Yeah, vanish isn't right next to them, so if I do this, you don't have to respect it. We use anti-reflect strings, like say this. That doesn't work for Bardock, but he can do this instead, which is a very, very good thing. That's why people say Bardock's top tier. This is one of the reasons. He can react to being reflected into just pressure. Bardock also has EX spin, which is anti-reflect in itself, because if post vanish, instead of reflecting, they backdash, which is a big thing you should go for every once in a while. EX spin still catches them, and if they're a 7-frame character, so if they delay the 5L by 1 frame, oh no, never mind, I'm +2. So even if they press a button, they still get smoked. There's not really much options they can do here besides block high. Reflect does work, but then I can call assist. So Bardock does have an anti-reflect super, anti-reflect special, which isn't common. It's pretty good to have. Yeah, Bardock's safe. He can do this, which also beats it, or he can do this, like I said, which just counters all reflects. So when building anti-reflect strings, here's a couple notes you can take. Let me put him on guard all for nothing. So you want to have dash momentum. You need to know the difference between an anti-reflect string you can just do. Like for example, with Krillin, I said 5H, 5L, 5H, and ones you need dash momentum for. So even though I showed it whiffing, Krillin can, in fact, make sure he's on slot 1. Krillin can, in fact, do this to make sure he anti-reflects. And his bright side is he has solar flare, so he can do that into -2. -2 means he gets the backdash, he gets the pressure, all that stuff. He has that. Solar flare is minus on block though. It's minus on reflect too. It's -7. Yeah, but in general, he does still have some semblance of anti-reflect pressure, but it ends about there. 5H, yeah. But you build it off of that. So I need dash momentum for that. How much dash momentum do you need? For Krillin, it's a 1-frame micro walk. You just need that much. But if you time it wrong, or if you dash buffer, Krillin gets smoked, so he has to perfectly walk forward 1 frame, which makes this anti-reflect string kind of unrealistic. With characters like Goku Black, you kind of just cut your brain off. Just, yeah. And if they reflect, you're good. If they backdash, you're good. You still get it. I mean, technically they can double backdash, but that's still better than, you know, getting reflected. So you kind of don't have to care about that with characters like him. But really, the main places you need the lab anti-reflect strings are in the corner. That's where the least pushback is suffered, because pushback is only suffered from both players. So if he's not suffering it, I still don't get my half. So I'm not getting pushed back as far relative to him, because he's staying stationary and I'm the only one moving. So our, you know, relative distance stays about the same. You gotta figure out like conversions off of anti-reflect strings. Krillin can do like this into pressure, which is really good. This auto space is his 5M pressure. For anybody who doesn't know that, Krillin's 5M. He can do stuff like this. I mean, we're gonna cut this off into 2M, 5SS. Yeah, into solo pressure. So Krillin's anti-reflect strings, when he does pull it off, my bad. Bardock's, his anti-reflect string is pretty strong as well. The fact that he has plus frame, so he does have an a reflect bait button, I guess. If we put on play recording so he reflects instead of block, I can do like that, and you know, you can mash through that, but you can delay it long enough. You can smoke people. You don't see that much anymore, because if they mash 5L, you get smoked. There's some like god spacing he can do like here, which gives him the setup. You can't mash through that, which is pretty cool. But that spacing's so hard to get like consistently. It's so obvious you're going for it, and if they don't press nothing, you whiff. So yeah, that's a bait. But in general, understanding how to build anti-reflect strings with any character is either a forward advancing move like 5H's. Most 5H's are anti-reflect button off of lights. Either move with a bunch of active frames that also forward advances, so like Bardock's 5M, or you either build up a move that has dash momentum. So micro dashes is why people do this during pressure, so they can do any anti-reflect string they might need. That's why you do that. That's why if your assists are coming back, if you have assists like Janemba's assist, people will do like this, Janemba assist, that, so that, you know, they can build plus frames, they can anti-reflect you in case you want to mash reflect, they can keep the assist going, yada yada yada. Hopefully that made sense. Anti-reflect strings are pretty simple to do. They're pretty simple to build up, and once you get one ARS, you can kind of apply it to most of your team. Any character with a command grab automatically has anti-reflect strings, because just command grab. And any character with a cross-up also has anti-reflect strings, such as Yamcha, because you can't reflect forward. You have to do a reflect OS, which opens you up to lows. So yeah, that's about it. As always, you can watch my latest video right here. You can subscribe to me here, or you can just go forward and look at the playlist. So you have a good one.